to the sustenance of peace and stability within Nigeria's political journey by ensuring that political parties and candidates going into the general election commit to fair play and the subsequent acceptance of the result of the election. I am further gladdened to note that this is the second time, after the first on December 11, 2018, that such a gathering has been put together to commit to peaceful and smooth conduct of election and acceptance of result. These obviously indicate a positive trend toward the entrenchment of democratic tenets in the country and further serve as lesson for other countries within the region to emulate. Recognizing that election is an important time in the democratic process in our region, the ECOWAS Commission is pleased to associate itself with this noble initiative and thus encourage all candidates and political parties to commit themselves to peaceful, fair, and credible election. There is no better time than today to have this ceremony organized in the presence of all dignitaries, candidates, and political parties here present. Election season usually comes with their associated heightened tension emanating from such keenly contested competition. In this regard, it is therefore appropriate for today's ceremony to once again present the opportunity for the candidate to display their commitment to the sustenance of Nigeria's peace and stability. In accordance with its mandate and protocol, ECOWAS Commission is accompanying this process by deploying a 180-member observer mission led by former President of Liberia, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, here present. Nigeria is the leader of our ECOWAS region, economically and politically. We remain convinced that it will, as in the past, show again this regional leadership through a successful election, which will be example for other countries in our region. Ladies and gentlemen, as we officially witness the signing of the National Peace Accord by the presidential candidate, I wish to assure you, all of you, commitment of ECOWAS Commission to continue to support any initiative and effort in making Nigeria and indeed the entire ECOWAS region peaceful, stable, and secure. This is necessary to deal effectively with the important and urgent development agenda. Once again, I want to express my sincere gratitude for this opportunity to be here with you today, and I wish to congratulate all the presidential candidates. Best of luck to the presidential candidate. I thank you.
All protocols observed. That was the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibro, delivering his goodwill message. And once again, just as a reminder, let the goodwill message be very brief. Take it to no more than 3 minutes so that we can save time. We appreciate your time, we appreciate your presence, but there are other matters that need to be attended to. Let me now also invite Carson Kettle. His Excellency is the Ambassador and head of the EU delegation to Nigeria to deliver his goodwill message. Ambassador Kettle.
Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, Your Excellencies, former heads of state, please allow me to stand on existing protocol. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the international community present in Abuja, I'm truly honored to address you briefly on the occasion of the signature of the 2019 National Peace Accord. With only 3 days to the upcoming presidential elections, demonstrating the willingness to respect the outcome of free, fair, credible, transparent, and peaceful elections sends a very powerful message to Nigeria, to Africa, and to the world alike. Now, to see that happening, all must play their part. INEC, of course, guarding jealously its independence, and the security forces keeping their neutrality whilst guaranteeing safety without intimidating voters. Just like in 2015, it is the hope of all to see the outcome of democratic elections prevail. The premise must be that it is for the Nigerian voters and for the Nigerian voters alone to choose their leaders. Therefore, the international community, and that includes the EU, of course, wishes to stress again its complete impartiality. We are not here to support a particular party, and we are not here to support a particular candidate. Instead, we support the democratic process. And international observer missions are here on the invitation of Nigeria, and they fully respect the principle of non-interference and act in accordance with international codes of conduct. It all translates down to the spirit that what is good for Nigeria is good for the world too. To the presidential candidates present, I wish to stress that your pledge for peace today is vital. Words count, and people will listen to what you say. So by making your words count for the good, what you have said today is that Nigeria is greater than any of us. As true leaders, accepting the will of the people can never be a defeat. Our hope is that this message will resonate in all 4 corners of Nigeria, while clearly expressing to all Nigerians that they can come out and vote peacefully on Saturday. Seeing the youth, many first-time voters participating in democratic processes and not being used for the wrong purposes. Seeing women participating on equal terms. And seeing other groups, such as people with disabilities, having their voices heard just like everyone else. You, as leaders, play a vital role to see that happening before, during, and beyond the elections. In conclusion, I wish to commend the Peace Committee in general and the admirable leadership of His Excellency, former Head of State, Abdulsalami Abubakar, in particular, for the work. The role that the Peace Committee, thank you very much. The role of the Peace Committee was vital in 2015, and you demonstrate today again the importance ahead of the 2019 polls. Ladies and gentlemen, please accept my congratulations to all the presidential candidates on this essential adoption of the 2019 National Peace Accord. Thank you very much.
Very well. Ambassador Carson Kettle, head of the EU delegation to Nigeria, delivering his goodwill message. Let me also now invite Alan Doss. He is president of the Kofi Annan Foundation. And by way of recall, in 2015, the late Kofi Annan, who was UN Secretary General and a brother of ours from Ghana, was a witness to the peace accord of that year for the election cycle of 2015. And here's his foundation, represented by the president of the foundation, Alan Doss, to deliver a goodwill message.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, presidential candidates, and of course, all protocols observed. Allow me first to warmly thank General Abdulsalami Abubakar and the National Peace Committee for their kind invitation to the Kofi Annan Foundation to be here for this historic occasion. My thanks go as well to Switzerland a close partner of the Foundation in our efforts to promote electoral integrity around the world. But above all, I want to congratulate the presidential candidates and parties for their reaffirmation of the National Peace Accord. Your commitment puts country before party. Ladies and gentlemen, I really wish it were Kofi Annan standing here before you today. He had accepted the NPC's invitation to lend his support to the 2019 elections, as he had done for those in 2015. Sadly, it was not to be. But he was keen to attend because he believed that Africa can succeed only if Nigeria succeeds. Kofi believed in Nigeria, a big country full of big people with big dreams. But those dreams can only come true if there is peace. And that is why we are here today, to encourage peaceful and good elections. If he were here, Kofi would have said to the candidates, please be prudent, be careful. He would urge you to do the right thing for your people, for Nigeria, and for Africa. And may I add that I hope you will also do the right thing in memory of Kofi Annan, whose wise, humane, and generous spirit lives on with us here today. Thank you all, and may God bless Nigeria. May the Almighty watch over this wonderful country during these next few critical days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan Doss, President of the Kofi Annan Foundation, for that message. Our royal fathers are here represented, and of course Nigeria is a country that is steeped in culture. They are the custodians, primarily, of our culture. One of our royal fathers will speak on behalf of his brother royal fathers who are present, and indeed on behalf of all others. May I respectfully invite His Royal Majesty Alfred Diete Spiff. He is the Amayanabo of Tuambras in Bayelsa State. Your Royal Majesty. He is a senior citizen now. He became governor of Old River State at the age of 25. I hope His Royal Majesty supported the Not Too Young to Run bill, which is now an act.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, the Chairman of the Peace Committee, all other protocols duly observed. I bring you hearty greetings from our sons and daughters of our country, Nigeria. I stand here on behalf of our chairman, His Eminence Alhaji Saad Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto, and lend my voice to the cause for a free, fair, and credible elections in our dear country. I've come here to lend my voice and convey this unalloyed support of all traditional fathers in Nigeria as our nation sets to mark a momentous occasion in our life in this nation. The world is watching us. All the relevant institutions have prepared for this event. Our people have prepared for these elections, and we look forward to the event, the conduct of a free, fair, and credible elections in our dear country. Our nation has suffered so much violence in the hands of Boko Haram, bandits, kidnappers, and all other forces of evil. It is time for us to rally around one another and ensure that we do not further spill any more blood of our dear countrymen, our people have paid the supreme price and lost lives and properties in internal violence. We want to appeal to our politicians today to please place the survival of our nation and our people before their personal ambitions. No leader will want to govern under the shadow of unnecessary bloodletting in the quest for his or their ambitions. Once again, we, the traditional rulers, are committed to contributing our own quota by constantly appealing to our people to keep the peace. God bless Nigeria.
His Royal Majesty Alfred Yetespif, speaking on behalf of our royal fathers. Lastly, but certainly not the least, from the Situation Room, Mr. Clement Uwankwa, please step forward to deliver the goodwill message.
Your Excellencies, Mr. President, Your Excellency, former Head of State, Your Excellencies, Your Highnesses, I'd like on behalf of the Nigeria Civil Society Situation Room and indeed all Nigerian civil society organizations to congratulate President Abdul Salami Abubakar, Bishop Kuka, and members of the Peace Committee, as well all of the candidates who are here in this hall to sign this peace accord, to congratulate you on recognizing the importance of peaceful elections. This election is about Nigerians. It's about the Nigerian people. It's for the Nigerian people, and it's by the Nigerian people. This country has a great need for peace, especially at this time. This country has bled tremendously, especially in recent time. These elections are important for us that they are conducted peacefully. It is a huge opportunity for us as Nigeria to advertise ourselves. There is nobody who will emerge from this election victorious if they have not followed due process. If elections have been rigged, if elections have been contrived, if anyone has abused the process in emerging as leader of this country, it will be a Pyrrhic victory. It will be a victory that will be questioned. It will be a victory that will have challenges of legitimacy. So it is important that as leaders, as candidates, as parties that sign this peace accord, that you recognize that in signing it, you commit to respecting the will of the Nigerian people. The Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room, more than 100 other organizations will be observing these elections. We will be across the country. We will report what we see. We will report for Nigeria, and we will report that we have seen free, fair, and credible elections if that is the case. If it is not, we will say so as well. We urge the political parties, we urge the candidates to please respect the importance of the will of the Nigerian people. We also urge all of the stakeholders, security agencies, all other agencies who are involved in this election to realize that it is not the responsibility of state institutions, it is not the responsibility of any other organization to decide the victory of the Nigerian people in this election. The Nigerian people will go out and vote. We expect that those votes will count, and we expect it will be counted. We have worked with INEC, given every support to INEC. We will work with INEC, and we hope and trust that INEC, which has made commitments to us, the Nigerian people, that it will conduct free and fair elections, will be supported to do so by institutions of state and by the Nigerian people, and that INEC will also understand that it is going to be on the front burner in terms of how this goes. But this is our opportunity to advertise ourselves to the world. This is our opportunity to say to the world that we can get it right. If we don't get it right, there's no amount of road shows we can do anywhere in the world to convince anybody to come here. This is our opportunity to say to the world, we can do it. Good luck to Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Mr. Clem Owankwo of the Civil Society Situation Room there, delivering the goodwill message, and that shall be our last. Now it's time for us to invite the presidential candidates only to please step forward to sign the 2019 National Peace Accord, today, the 13th of February 2019. And a moment ago, and I'm sure you saw the face of the Chief Electoral Umpire, that's the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakub. He's here along with some of the chieftains of INEC, and I'm sure that they are waiting for us. They are getting almost impatient for us to leave here, because by this time next week, or a few days after the election, this will be the beehive for the collation and final announcement of the results of the presidential elections. All right, we have 6 desks in front of us. A, B, C, J. And if you're a presidential candidate and you're still in the race, there are 91 registered political parties, 73 of them, of course, fielded candidates. If you have tried to withdraw, but INEC says, no, you must continue to play, even if your legs are broken. And so please, may we respectfully now invite the presidential candidates to kindly step forward to execute, as lawyers will say, the 2019 National Peace Accord. If your party is from A to B, this is the first desk, C to J, second desk, K to M, third. There is a desk that is not labeled. That to be for, the desk that is not labeled, and then you have another one there. Just follow the alphabets rather, for the name of your party, and then you endorse. Stand up and be counted. That's right.
They should just come out. Yes, we would have done like A. No. People will just look for them. Yes, locate it and then do it that way. It's better.
Only the presidential candidates, please. Wow, I thought the number had. This will fill a stadium.
We're free.
Just presidential candidates only, please. Thank you very much. Please, you are advised to take your seats after signing. Thank you very much.
Please, if you have signed the peace accord, kindly return to your seat. There will be an opportunity for a group photograph of all the presidential candidates and some of the dignitaries present. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may we now invite His Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, who is the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, to please come to the platform and append his signature to the peace accord. Mr. President. All right, that was His Excellency, the President and candidate of the All Progressives Congress. A moment ago, you saw the former Vice President and candidate of the People's Democratic Party also come up to the stage to sign the peace accord, along, of course, with other presidential candidates. Your Excellencies, we'll take some comments now, 2 comments. One will be from the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, Mr. Peter Ame, Please come forward for very brief remarks. Very brief remarks, please.
The President, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, the Chairman, National Peace Committee, General Absalam Abubakar, GCFR, and all the very distinguished members of the National Peace Committee. His Excellency, former President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, GCON, and distinguished National Chairman of Nigerian Registered Political Party, and all presidential candidates here present. Please accept all courtesies as duly extended to everyone. The forthcoming general election is for Nigerians to speak. It's for Nigerians to determine the choice of leader they have agreed that will lead them going forward for the next 4 years. And it is very important that the right and the true wishes and aspirations of Nigerians, as declared through the ballot box, is made to reflect the true nation of the elections. We do not want a situation when those who vote don't count, but those who collect the vote count. We want a situation where elections are held for our people. Elections are held so that the interest of Nigeria can grow. We are the giants of Africa. The whole world is looking up to us to do the right thing. The world is looking up to us to lead the African nation to prosperity. And any elections that is devoid of legitimacy going forward will affect the true nature of a good and powerful governance. We said vote, not fight. We say one man, one vote. We say that those who have been assigned responsibility to conduct these elections will conduct it with the best interests of our people at heart. That every youth that is out there today, going into the election on Saturday, please conduct yourself. Non-violence is a weapon. Being peaceful is good for the prosperity of our great country. I thank the Nigerian political party and all registered parties in Nigeria and all presidential candidates that as far as we are concerned, the campaign period has been largely peaceful, has been largely shown what Nigerians have in stock and those who have competed with ideas seeking for the vote of the common man. It is very important that the Nigerian populace to know that if your vote don't count, there will not be this rigorous campaign. So at home, you know that our vote counts because the processes of leading to the conduct of every of our elections has improved from 2019. And I know that the Independent Electoral Commission, with all members of the staff that has been assigned to carry out this responsibility, will carry it out without fear and without favor. We are one Nigeria, and we have one destiny. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Ame, Chairman of IPAC, that is the Inter-Party Advisory Council. We'll take another comment, this time from the former Vice President of the Federal Republic. He was Vice President from 1999 until 2007, and is now the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar.
Your Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I use this opportunity to renew my profound gratitude to General Abdul Salami Abubakar and members of the Peace Committee for their dedication and passion towards ensuring the success of this peace accord process. Our gathering here today clearly demonstrates the importance of the upcoming elections, as well as how our democracy has matured, not only to our people, but also to the international community, whose solidarity Nigeria's democracy has benefited from. As we prepare to sign off on this peace accord, which we have done, as representatives of our party and people, may I freely quote the words of former President Goodluck Jonathan, which remain a benchmark for me, taking into account the deep feelings that prevail as February 16, 2019 approaches. And I quote, and he said, "My ambition is not worth the blood of any Nigerian," and I quote. In this context, I appeal once again to every staff and the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Nigeria Police and other security agencies to be fair arbiters in the upcoming elections while letting neutrality prevail. For emphasis, and in the spirit of fair play, I also urge our security agencies not to embark on indiscriminate arrests of members of opposition or their supporters 24 to 48 hours before elections, as has been the case in previous by-elections. Hopefully, our democracy should emerge stronger from this process, with the 2019 elections proving better managed than the 2015 process, which was adjudged free and fair, with the opposition victory unobstructed. Consequently, I also appeal to the President, Muhammadu Buhari, to use his good offices to ensure that every eligible person who casts their votes are confident in the process and in the belief that their votes will count. Additionally, every candidate must remember that this election is about the future of Nigeria. Therefore, we must abide by the will of the people as freely expressed through elections under the terms of our Constitution and our electoral laws. Once again, despite concerns expressed by my party leaders about likely electoral malpractices and the intimidation of voters and observers, I trust that our election officials and security services will do their duty in accordance with their oaths and obligations. In conclusion, I appeal once again to our citizens to go out and cast their votes for the candidates of their choice, to be peaceful at all times, and confident in our democracy, its institutions and processes. So please go out this Saturday to vote for your future and the future of our great nation. God bless you all, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much.
That was His Excellency, the former Vice President of the Federal Republic and now candidate of the People's Democratic Party. Protocol demands that the President, Commander-in-Chief, normally will speak last. And so before he is invited to the podium, we will extend our deep appreciation, that's to say from the National Peace Committee, to all those who have found time to be here and indeed have supported the work of the Peace Committee. And to give the vote of thanks will be the Vice Chairman of the National Peace Committee, Commodore Ebitu Ukiwe, GCON. He was the Chief of General Staff from 1985 until 1986. In terms of equivalence, that would be the Vice President, although that was in those days when there were no ballots or bullets.
Your Excellency, President Mohammed Buhari, Your Excellencies and former presidents and heads of state, distinguished traditional rulers who are here, the contestants vying for the presidential office, and chairmen of political parties, our distinguished guests, President General of the Commonwealth, Right Honorable Patricia Scotland. Also, Mr. Dawes of Annan Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great day for us Nigerians and a milestone in the history of our struggle with democracy. We have all gathered here to honor a commitment of politicians who desire to govern our country as a pledge to accept the outcome of the elections. This is the climax of what started on December 11th, 2018, and the final phase of our struggle to ensure peaceful elections. On behalf of the chairman and members of the National Peace Committee, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to you all. To Mr. President, first, we wish to express our gratitude and appreciation to you for cooperating with the committee and squeezing out time to answer us every time we call on you. This is a very encouraging sign of your commitment, and it has pointed to your own wish to lead by example. Thank you very much. To the other contestants, we commend those of you who have battled to the end. Our elections are 3 days away. All that the Peace Committee has tried to do is to clear the rubble of doubt and anxiety, and to encourage our people to support democratic process to ensure peace in our country. The world awaits us. Everything humanly possible has been done to ensure that all goes well. We call on you to respect the process. One of you will be our president. We expect all of you to lead your supporters and all of us by good example. To our most distinguished special guests, the Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, your support and encouragement means a lot to us. Thank you very much for standing by us. And we know we can always count on the great organization that you represent. I will also want to thank His Excellency Mr. Alan Dawes and his colleagues from Kofi Annan Foundation for the role the foundation has played in 2015 and now. Also, we thank ECOWAS, African Union, United Nations, and European Union, and all organizations that helped in one way or the other. To all of you who have come to witness this event, thank you very much. Very special thanks to all our religious and traditional rulers who come to support us. Members of the various political parties, your supporters, all men and women of goodwill, we thank you. Finally, I want to thank on behalf of all the members of the Peace Committee, the Minister of FCT, and the entire team at the International Conference Center, who have always kept their doors open to us. Thank you. And while we commit the future into God's hands, we ask Him, God Almighty, to bless you all. May He reward our efforts with peace. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for the Vice Chairman of the National Peace Committee for the vote of thanks on behalf of the committee. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I now humbly invite His Excellency, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic, to deliver an address on the occasion of the second signing of the 2019 National Peace Accord ahead of the general elections, beginning on Saturday, February 16th. Mr. President.
Your Excellency, General Abdusalami Abubakar, Chairman, National Peace Committee, and members of the Peace Committee. Your Excellency, General Yakubu Gowon, and former African presidents here, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, and I stand by the remaining existing protocol. Another election is open, and not unexpectedly, there is anxiety in the air. This is typical of any form of competition and contest. No matter how well prepared all contestants and regulators are, the forthcoming elections are very special and significant for the growth of our democracy. First, they come immediately after one of the most peaceful elections in the history of our country. I'm not saying this because I was blessed to emerge as the winner. I am saying there had been a lot of fears and anxieties from within and outside Nigeria about the future of our country. We are hopeful that this is evidence that we are all maturing in our disposition towards electoral outcomes. We see this as an opportunity to grow our sense of political culture in Nigeria. Secondly, we are witnessing an exciting development in the area of the engagement of our youth and women in the democratic process. Hitherto, these groups have often not been in the mainstream of our political competition. It is in the appreciation of their contribution that we passed the Not Too Young to Run bill last year. The success of the act is illustrated by the unprecedented number of young men and women who have stepped forward to participate in this process as candidates at all levels. Significantly, we have witnessed also the emergence of women as candidates across the political space. Thirdly, these elections are taking place against the backdrop of the emergence of an unprecedented number of political parties. As of now, we have 91 political parties, out of which over 70 fielded presidential candidates. Although some candidates have dropped out of the race, there is no doubt in our minds that our country is moving forward, and that our democracy is expanding and also deepening. I call on all Nigerians to contribute to the building of a viable polity by more active participation well beyond the mere casting of votes. Elections by themselves do not constitute democracy. It is the spirit of citizenship engagement that utilizes the energy of citizens towards attainment of good governance. We have assembled here to mark the final phase of our campaigns, and we are now at the doorstep of our elections. The campaigns so far have gone well, and we thank God for that. For the few incidents in which people lost their lives, largely through accidents, we pray that God grants them eternal peace. Now campaigns are over, and our next assignment is for us all, citizens and contestants alike, to go out and exercise our civic duties. We, the presidential candidates, are here to sign and commit ourselves to do all that is possible to ensure the success of the elections, but most importantly, to accept the final outcome. I appeal to my fellow contestants to commit to these ideals so as to keep our country and people safe. The Independent National Electoral Commission, our electoral empire, has already assured us that they have done everything possible to ensure free and fair elections. It was to ensure this that I made sure that INEC received all the resources they needed to perform their job. Our security agencies have been fully briefed, and they know that their visible neutrality is key to conduct credibility and success of the elections. To the Right Honorable Patricia Scotland, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, we extend our felicitations and welcome to you. Your presence here and your friendship mean a lot to us as a country. To the members of the Diplomatic Corps, the international team of monitors, again I say, welcome to Nigeria, and thank you very much for standing by us. Your presence helps to validate our process and commitment to our growing democracy. I want to thank General Abdulsalam Abubakar, the chairman of the National Peace Committee, and all his members for the hard work they have put into ensuring that our elections are peaceful. Your great work contributed significantly in the shaping the elections of 2015, and we are sure that the same impact will be felt in these elections. To all our citizens, I want to thank you. As we go into elections in a few days' time, please let us pray for our country. Let us use this opportunity to strengthen our beliefs in a united country. Our elections are important only to the extent that they make our country peaceful and prepare us for development. I am making a special appeal to our young people. Do not allow yourself to be used to cause violence. Peace eschew all forms of violence. Please eschew all forms of violence and cooperate with all the relevant agencies during these elections. We will vote according to parties, but in the end, the only real party is Nigeria, our country. Our elections are important only to the extent that they make us strong. Let us do our best and ask God to bless us and our country. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That was His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari delivering his address on the occasion of the second signing of the 2019 National Peace Accord. Another round of applause for His Excellency, Mr. President. We are virtually coming to the end of today's event. Just one or two announcements. After the national anthem, there will be a cocktail, and the VIPs are kindly requested to use the western door, which is to my right, for the cocktail. And the others who have had their presence here with us, kindly use the southern door, which we refer to as the main entrance for your own light refreshments. But just before we do that, there will be a group photograph, or probably a couple of group photographs with Mr. President, that's the incumbent, members of the National Peace Committee, and the presidential candidates. Your Excellencies, please step forward for your group photograph, and then, of course, the other dignitaries will also join them. The group photograph is for presidential candidates, please. Presidential candidates, please.
As a people with one song, with one voice, we're a nation undivided and poised. We will take us down and build our land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. We're freedom, rise, and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all. Our land where there's hope for us all.
Please, may the following dignitaries now join the group photograph. The Secretary General of the Commonwealth and the former heads of state were here with us. Those of Liberia, Tanzania, and Botswana, plus of course the UN Special Representative for West Africa and Sahel.
Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come.
All right, I think that is virtually the end of the photo opportunity. Would like to thank you for being around. Remember, elections will come and go, but this great country of ours will remain. Treat her tenderly. Thank you for coming. My name is Kingsley Osadolo. Let's now take the Nigerian national anthem to close.